Upshot, Multi-World Disc Golf's podcast about the latest in the disc golf world. I'm the editor, Charlie Eisenhood. Joining me is Josh Mansfield on this Thursday, May 15th, one day before the start of the Cascade Challenge, another new tournament on the Pro Tour. Similar, Josh, to the Kansas City Wide Open, which had been a silver. It had been a Q Series, and then it debuted this season on the official Pro Tour. We get the same thing with the Cascade Challenge just south of Seattle up in Washington. I'm not quite as excited about this one, maybe because this tournament doesn't really have the legacy and the history of Kansas City Wide Open, and I'm not sure that the course gets me quite as excited either.
For being in one of the most beautiful parts of the country, it kind of looks like we're playing on a KOA. Like, it's like gravel roads running through. There's cars driving by on a couple of the holes. It's not the most attractive course, which is disappointing because the Northwest usually, like, that's the heat it brings, right? Like, you think Beaver State is a prime example of just like gorgeous disc golf. I think of Blue Mountain. I think of it hasn't been on tour, but you've got Caliber is in the top 10 courses in the country up in northern Idaho, right? Yeah. Like beautiful.
What's up with that course? Is it like desolate, like completely middle of nowhere, no cell service type situation?
I think the cell service is okay. I don't remember, but yes, middle of nowhere. Like middle of nowhere. Amazing course. They have two now. They have They have Caliber and they have Motherlode. Both of them are incredible. They are so much fun to play. Motherlode is hard. And like last year at the A tier that I played at, like Andrew Marweed came. So, you know, you had a couple guys. I think Ali Smith was the other one that was there. So yeah, some show up.
There's just genuinely nothing around there.
There's genuinely, it's an hour. It's almost an hour from like any civilization. It's
sad because, like, basically we need that kind of. I'm just looking at pictures right now. It looks absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
It's like a bucket list course.
Job. Yes. They do such a nice job. Ultimately,
you can't have a Pro Tour there because it's just not going to be fans.
Right. Oh no! Like
this course looks unbelievable.
Charlie, I'm telling you. So Paul's the owner. He came out, bought this property. I mean, that guy has an entire fleet of heavy equipment that, you know, he's chopping trees, he's chipping the wood. Like, it is, the work that he puts into this course is unreal. It is phenomenal. The fairways are gorgeous, and it's all just chopped. Like, he did the work himself. Like, it's not, you know, using some borrowing some pre-existing thing. Like, he just put in a vision, tore it out. It's an incredible property.
I still think this Cascade course is a little better and prettier than you're giving it credit for. It maybe isn't that.
There's a couple holes. There's a couple holes, but you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
But it is a quick little drive from Seattle.
So nice.
Maybe an hour. I'm just guesstimating, looking at the map. So that, you know, makes sense for the Pro Tour to have a disc golf stop in and around Seattle.
Yes. Yeah. And so, it's a new course. They are elevating courses that have been tested on lower levels of Pro Tour play.
Right.
And it's next to a large city. I will not complain. Right. It is not the way I wish it looked. I just think there are others that, and maybe I'm just a little spoiled with this area of golf, but it's absolutely meeting like 4 out of the 5 boxes that I want checked. And so I'm very excited about that.
It's going to be a nice start to the like upper Pacific Northwest swing this year. Yeah. So before we talk Cascade Challenge and get you all ready to go, we do need to hit another segment first, and that is going to be Stock Up, Stock Down. We are through the first chunk of the season. We've had Champions Cup, which kind of marks the end of the beginning. Mm-hmm. And now we enter the second phase of the year, which for me is like now through when the American players go to Europe. So a few more weeks, we've got a few more events here stateside. And then, you know, around June, we kind of go into the third phase of the season, which is the European swing, back-to-back majors, all that good stuff. So where we are right now, taking a look at the broad landscape, are you buying? Are you holding? Are you selling on these players? So Josh, I will kick us off, and let's start with the world number ones. And why don't we begin with Kristen Lätt, who will not be in attendance this weekend at the Cascade Challenge. She's back over in Europe. But what are you doing with Kristen following a foot fault, a loss at the Champions Cup, some heartbreak at that tournament for Kristen in the past few years? Your thoughts on the highest rated player in the world right now? You buying?
Actually, I am. I'm definitely buying Kristen stock, and it's less about. I don't think Kristen stock is is different than where it was at the start of the season. I don't think there's been any sort of regression. It's still very high. Listen, I understand. Ollie's college fund, it's getting drained for this project. It's an expensive stock to buy. But are you telling me that you don't want to buy stock before Kristen goes over to a weaker European field for a handful of DGPT events, followed by 2 majors in Europe? Come on. Her stock is definitely going to be up by the end of Worlds, without a doubt in my mind. And so I want to get the stock before she starts playing in Europe again.
That makes sense. She's got Konopiste and Ale, and then she's coming back to the U.S. for Preserve and U.S. Women's. Then she's back to Europe for European Disc Golf Championship, PCS Open, and Krokel. And then, of course, European Disc Golf Festival, which, by the way, is now officially Cool Bet presents European Disc Golf Festival 2025. Title sponsor. The gambling is here. I'm kind of surprised that is that allowed by the PDGA? They don't. I feel like their advertising rules are still well, we can't have cannabis.
It's just me, Charlie. That's not
it. A family friend. And then we've got Cool Bet presents our major.
It's just weed, Charlie. That's the only thing that we don't allow.
It's crazy.
To your point, though, Charlie, I think that this continues to highlight the very, very strange, uncomfortable relationship between the Pro Tour and the PDGA regarding the majors. And not between necessarily the relationship of them as entities, but in terms of what the major stands and represents relative to the overall professional tour versus the PDGA, right? Whose event is this? What's the purpose of it? Is it a money-making product? Is it just, because it there are questions there about if a weed sponsor came forward, a cannabis sponsor, does, and would we and they offered, millions and millions of dollars, right? DGPT doesn't want to turn that down.
The PDGA does not accept advertising or sponsorships for products or services that promote federally and nationally illegal activities or controlled substances, or that are judged to be demeaning or sexually explicit. So, that's why no cannabis, I guess.
Sure.
Because technically it's still illegal from a federal standpoint, even though that's not really being actually pursued anymore.
Yeah.
But you are allowed, with approval, to have sponsorships from hard liquor, weapons, tobacco, gambling, social causes, religious interests, and CBD products.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we had remember we had Open at Austin by Tito's Vodka for a while?
That's true.
So,
listen, I have no problem with it. Take the money.
Take the money.
I just feel like they should be more permissive. Not allowing cannabis sponsorships makes no sense. At this point.
Yes. Yeah. Agreed.
Who? You think the feds are going to come after you? Anyway. All right. So you're buying on Kristen.
I'm buying on
Kristen. Back on track.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's a hold. Mostly because Kristen has, and you are right, but the thing is, I feel like it's priced in that she's going to win these tournaments in Europe when there's no other strong players there. So I'm not selling my Kristen stock. This is the best player in the world, but I feel like there's a little bit of reason to be slightly concerned after, she wasn't able to close out the major. Am I like really worried? No, I'm just not sure that I want to buy more of the priciest stock on the market.
I hear you. You're going to feel dumb when she wins 3 majors by the end of July, though.
You're right. All right. So who do you want to go to next?
Well, I thought we were going to do other number 1. That would be Gannon Buhr.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well,
of course.
I'm holding with Gannon as well. There's definitely a case to be made for buying here because he's been a little slow out of the gate this season. Mm-hmm. But I'm a little worried that we're not going to see him fully lock back into 2024 Gannon. Statistically, it's a little bit down from last year. I think he's still going to be winning. I just am not sure that I feel like I'm super convinced that he looks all the way 100% ready to beat everybody again. Because last year, nobody could beat him, but it hasn't been that way this season. He's been beaten more than he has delivered the wins.
Sure. Well, Charlie, it's for that reason I'm buying more Gannon stock too. Gannon's only got 1 win. I think that if you gave me an over-under, I would still take over 4 wins with a major for Gannon by the end of the season. And we say that he's regressed a little bit statistically, but we have data over, Charlie, I know you wanted to shout out dggraphs.com.
Check it out, folks. dggraphs.com. This is I don't think anybody really knows about this yet unless you're in the Ultiworld Disc Golf Discord as a subscriber. But Aaron Howard, who's a professor and has done a bunch of statistical and analytical writing for Ultiworld Disc Golf over the last few years, probably most iconically wrote the drive for dough, putt for show, breaking down that really disc golf is about driving. That's now I feel like considered canon. That's common, just everyone understands that's true.
Yes.
But in the past, I think people still believed that the separator for pro players before we really had the data to talk about it was the putting, but it's not. It's always been C1 in regulation. It's always been about, are you giving yourself birdie looks? Anyway, he's built a new website that does true strokes gained plus stats like they have in baseball that are normalized to the average player is 100. And then you can kind of see how players are relative to average, win probabilities, player comps, all kinds of stuff. So check it out, dggraphs.com. They just added FPO. So there's tons of fun data to look through. So anyway, you were saying.
Anyway, yeah, my point. Gannon is the best player in true strokes gained. He's the best in true strokes gained minus OB. He's the best in true strokes gained tee to green. He's the only player above 120. He's at 125. And one of only 6 players who's above the 100 mark. In true strokes gained putting, the only player that's better than him is Ricky. But other than that, and he's very, very slightly behind Ricky. But other than that, is tied with Paul for second place. And then is pretty far, they're far and away better than the rest of the field. If you look at per event, same thing. You look at luck factor. Gannon's got the smallest and slightly negative luck factor of any player. Gannon, you're right that, Gannon has gotten beat. But Gannon is still the person you have to beat in order to win a tournament, right? He is the bar right now. And
he's still the best player on earth.
He's still the best player on earth. And I'm sorry, but if you're going to be the best player on earth through the first quarter of the season or first chunk of the season, again, 2 majors coming up, a major that he won last season. No, I think that Gannon is going to, by the end of, when we do this at the end of the European swing, I think you're going to go, oh my gosh, Gannon.
Wish I had more stock.
I wish I had more Gannon stock.
I feel like you're more convincing than me. But it is what it is, right?
It's expensive stock.
I've always been a value tilted investor who likes to buy things when they're cheap. Yeah. And Gannon and Kristen stock is not cheap. Although arguably Gannon in particular maybe is at a better spot right now to buy than it has been at any point since like last spring.
Middle 2023?
Yeah, I mean, right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, let's go to Ricky. It's been a little bit of a slow start.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I am holding on my Ricky stock. I am not convinced that we're going to see Ricky bounce back to the same level as last season. It's kind of like the same narrative that you gave with Gannon. It's Ricky's stock was awfully high because of, he would have been the best player last season if not for Gannon. But I don't have any evidence this season that that's going to be the case, right? Gannon, I have evidence that he's the best player. Ricky, he's good in stats. He's got the best in terms of true strokes gained putting, but he's behind he's behind AB and Paul as well on true strokes gained. You've also got Isaac Robinson and Calvin who are better in true strokes gained minus OB. So Ricky's going OB a lot. If you look at tee to green, Ricky isn't even in the 100 mark. So he's not even in the top 6. Right. And so the stats aren't compelling enough to me that Ricky is playing so well, but just not winning. I think we're seeing a real regression right now in Ricky's game. And we would not only need to see, things kind of break his way, but we would also need to see an improvement in his overall game. And I just don't have a reason to suspect that that's necessarily going to be the case. I'm not quite ready to sell on my Ricky stock, but honestly, I'm closer to selling than I am buying.
That's very interesting. I mean, I feel like you just described exactly why I'm buying. Like, Ricky definitely has not played as well this season as he did last year. Mm-hmm. Yet, when you look at his per event stats, he's been a top 5 player again. And I think that it's much more likely that we see him get back to where he was. Remember, he switched bags.
Sure.
So it's still a little bit of an adjustment period. And I mean, how bad has it been? Second at Kansas City Wide Open to a outrageously good Gannon. 4th at President's Cup.
Boy, I heard that story before.
President's Cup, unfortunately not relevant. 5th at Champions Cup. So back-to-back top 5s. I feel like this is the great spot to pick up more Ricky stock after this downturn in his performance. The question is, what do you think he's going to do going forward? I expect that, remember last season, Ricky was unbelievable in Europe. Literally, it's shocking that he didn't win more. It's just that's how good Gannon was. Mm-hmm. But I think Ricky's about to lock back in when we go over to Europe and start piling up the wins again, and I'm going to be happy to be buying here at the lows.
I'm sure the Ricky fans hope you're right.
I'm going to talk about Calvin. Okay. Here's another player who I think is a great buy spot. He kind of lost his putt a little bit after having it really dialed in earlier this season. And I just feel like he's going to come back around, and when he does, I'm ready for him to start winning again. And after a super disappointing Champions Cup, I feel like we are primed for Calvin bounce back.
Okay. Charlie, I'm selling. I'm offloading all of my Calvin stock. And let me tell you why.
Oh, no.
Calvin is what he is. He's a consistent player who's in the top 5s, who's going to get you a couple of wins. And the Calvin stands managed to keep his stock about 20% higher than it should be because they hype him every year before, including you, before every major, that this is Calvin's major. And then he comes out and he disappoints every single time. I'm sorry, but that's what Calvin is. I don't see any value. He doesn't drop low enough to justify me buying lots of Calvin stock ever. He doesn't win and get enough upside that I see value in buying him a little bit high. His stock is consistently priced in the top 3. He consistently delivers at a top 5, and I'm just not interested anymore. So I'm done. I want to get rid of all my Calvin stock. I've tried to
I can't wait to clip this later.
I know you're going to. And I've given I try and play this game where I'm Calvin just bad performance in the majors, so I told you. But then I'm but Calvin's a good player. You know what? No, Calvin is underperforming the talent that he has. He could have been a once in a generational player. He could be up there with Gannon. Like those two could be battling every single week. And instead we've got Ricky last year who did it. Now it's just like a crapshoot is who's going to win. It's kind of all over the place. And Calvin is still disappointing Calvin fans left and right. For me for one, I'm done. I'm not subsidizing that anymore. I'm out. I don't want any more Calvin stock.
Oh my God. All right. Okay. Gannon Buhr versus Calvin Heimburg head to head all time. Give me your guess at the record. I like the winning percentage for either player, whatever you want to do.
I would say it's probably like 65-35.
Gannon to Calvin?
Yeah, head to head. Well, because I'm thinking winning percentage. Like winning percentage feels Gannon 65. Like how many have they won when each other are in the field? I would give it to Gannon over Calvin. I would say like Gannon also has. I don't know. I'd say like probably 55-45. I'm
gonna make it Elite Series and Majors only.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't care about random off tournaments.
No, we don't.
Calvin has the better record. He is 37-33 with 3 ties against Gannon Buhr. Gannon has 13 wins. Calvin has 8.
Okay, question. Let me ask.
Calvin has way more second and third place finishes, and is 75% top 10 percentage to Gannon 69%.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Can you adjust years that you're looking at with that?
I certainly can. I knew you were going to ask. Where do you want to start? 2022?
Yeah, give me 20. Is that when Gannon won his first event?
Maybe 23. I can't remember. Since 2022, Gannon has the better record. 13
so you mean when we
wins,
exclude when
Calvin's
Gannon was
6?
So when we exclude Gannon as a literal 18, 17-year-old in Calvin's athletic prime, Gannon's the better player. Is that what I heard?
You know what's amazing? Since 2023, they have an identical top 10 percentage.
Really?
82.22%. Gannon is 23-20 against Calvin head to head since 2023.
And how many wins?
Now he has 8 more wins, 12 wins to 4 wins.
What about podiums?
Calvin 7 second place, Gannon 4. Calvin 7 third place, Gannon 4. So total 20 to 18 in favor of Gannon. And these are at events which they have both competed. So
right.
That's a caveat.
Yeah. But here's let me add you one more caveat.
I will never
4 majors
come at you and tell you that, somehow try to delude you into thinking that Calvin's the better player. No.
Sure.
Winning counts. Winning in majors counts.
Yes.
And Gannon has clearly been better at those things. But Calvin is a picture of consistency. And I think the stock's a little bit down because of the performance of Lätt, and I think that he's going to start getting some wins here soon. I'm going to go to my grave thinking he's going to win a major.
Yeah, I know you are.
He's too good not to win a major in his career.
You say that, but look at the opportunities and the way that it has gone every single time. Do
you want to put money on it for this year?
For this year?
Yeah.
Oh,
there's 3 majors left. We have European, Worlds, and USDGC. What odds are you willing to give me for Cal? Because I'm obviously going to want some plus money here.
Sure.
It could be $1. We don't need to make it a big stakes thing.
Right. Well, here's what I was going to say, Charlie. Whatever. Let's say once we pick the odds, I think what would be fun. Both of our teams are in the playoffs right now.
Okay.
I will say, tell me what odds you think. What odds do you think you need for Calvin?
I want 9-1.
9-1. Deal. Done. You can have 9-1 odds.
All right. How much you want to put on it?
9-1 odds at that value.
Okay.
We can estimate. We'll estimate. And we can talk we'll look at some comps later. It's really big right now. I get you a Knicks basketball card, maybe Jalen Brunson card. If you want a Cat Knicks card, whatever you want, I'll get you a Knicks basketball card. I get a Stars hockey card, and we'll trade cards if and we got to get a slab.
I want merch.
Oh, you want merch? Okay, sure.
I'm not like a collector type.
All right, deal.
So like I buy you like Stars socks. You buy me like Knicks like bomber jacket or something like that.
Okay, all right.
We can discuss the.
We'll discuss the terms, but like relative merch around a 9-to-1 value.
Okay.
Yeah,
fair.
Okay,
Deal.
Done. Oh, so easy. That's so. I am gonna if there's socks, like I'm literally gonna have a sock cam that I just like when we're doing the pod, I'm just gonna like have my foot up on the table so you can see my Stars socks. Crazy taking money. Charlie, do you remember European Open when Calvin led? And I said in the Rapid Reacts, I think it's very likely that Calvin comes out and shoots 2 over through 7. Or 2 under through 7.
And then he literally did that.
You said that's the most disrespectful take you've ever had on this pod. That was a graphic the next day. DGN made a graphic of 2 down through 7 because that's what he shot. You're blinded.
Oh
you're blinded by Calvin.
I feel pretty good about the price that I'm getting here.
That's fair.
All right. Let's see. Let's do the Champions Cup winners.
Okay.
We may be at local highs here. We'll start with Missy.
Okay. Missy, I am holding. Okay, actually, no. Here's what I want to do. I'm doing these two. I want to tell you together what I'm doing with these two, okay?
Okay.
I'm holding Missy. I'm selling Isaac. Here's why.
Okay.
I'm day trading Isaac. I sell Isaac after the major. 2 weeks before the major, I'm buying every Isaac stock I can. And then as soon as the major's done again, I sell the stock off again. Isaac is predictable where he wins. He's predictable where he performs well. And I know where I can get my Isaac value. So major's done. I sell all my Isaac stock about, 2 weeks before we get to European Disc Golf Championship. I'm buying a pile of Isaac stock again. And then I'll sell it after Worlds. So that's my Isaac plan. Okay. Missy, I'm holding. Because Missy does the same thing where she like wins and then kind of drops off and wins and drops off. She doesn't win back to back. Check out Justin Westfall's preview on the Cascade Challenge. Excellent work as usual. He talks about how neither have won back to back in Isaac. I don't know if ever, and Missy since she won back to back in Throw Pink and DGPT Championship. And so it's just not what they do. The problem is you just never know when Missy's going to pop off, right? And that's why it's hard. So I'm holding Missy because I don't have the knowledge to pick Missy, like to know when to pick Missy. I mean, I could just go off of purse size, but Missy comes out and surprises you sometimes, gets some wins, not sure where. So I hold Missy knowing I'll get more wins from her. I'm selling Isaac for the pure reason that I know his stock will depreciate a little bit and I can buy it again when it's a little bit lower.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I'm checking right now. And I mean, Missy hasn't won back-to-back events since she won an A tier and a C tier back-to-back in 2019 and 2020.
Well, Throw Pink and Pro Tour Championship in 2022? 2023? What year was that?
Well, I think it was 20... What was it? It's because
the Pro Tour Championship doesn't show up.
It's not counting as an A tier.
Correct.
Because I have to include A tiers for that to work. No, you're right. That's the only time she's ever done it, though.
It was 2021.
I like but the point is, it's not whether she's going to win this next event or not. And I actually like her chances this weekend at Cascade Challenge.
Yeah.
So it's a hold for me as well, but mostly because I feel like it's just like the wrong spot to buy. But I don't want to sell my stock. I mean, Missy won Player of the Year last year.
Yep.
She's now won 2 majors within a 12-month span. Like, why would you be selling? I feel like Missy's a dividend stock. You're just going to keep cashing them checks.
Exactly.
Isaac, meanwhile, I got to sell here. He's showing up as super lucky on dggraphs.com. It feels like he's caught some breaks. But at some point, does the guy just like create his own luck? Like people like his friends joke about how lucky he is. Like maybe that's true, but like why is he always lucky?
Right.
He's like throwing slower discs well and backhand with a lot of spin. I don't know. But either way, I'm not trying to like be like fully divested from Isaac. I just feel like this is not the spot that I want to like keep holding. I want to take some profit after the Champions Cup win. And he'll lose a couple events here going forward. He'll look a little shaky. I'll buy back in before Worlds.
Exactly.
All right.
That's it.
Let's do a few more.
Okay.
I want to talk about Ezra Robinson. Speaking of the Robinsons. He obviously won a tournament to start the season, and it's been a little shaky since then, Josh. What are you doing?
Yeah, man. I think that he was consistent enough and like his regular performance was good enough last season that I think that right now he's underperforming a little bit. I'm not sure why. I don't really know
like 24th Kansas City, 39th Champions Cup, 14th at the Masters Cup A tier.
Yeah, like not good. I think that makes it a prime time to buy some more Ezra stock. I think he's, at the beginning of the season, he went 1st, 19th, 4th, 8th. Like, yeah, I think that's the Ezra that is the ceiling. And we know that Ezra underperforms sometimes. And so I recognize the bag of chips that I'm getting, which is the up and down, right? Great chips, a lot of air in the bag though. Like that's kind of what I'm expecting. And so I'm aware of that. But now is one of the downsides. I'm going to buy some because, if he got another win, I wouldn't be shocked.
You know what a great time to buy Isaac Robinson stock was? It was after the beginning of last season when he started really slow. Everybody's writing him off. And then, boom, he locks in and he wins Worlds. And this feels like a similar thing. Ezra comes out of the year. He's playing great. He isn't dealing with any adversity. It's all going great. And then he hits some adversity. And he's a little tilty as a player. We have watched him just like melt down during rounds.
Yeah.
I feel like he's going to play through this and come back out on the other side and start to pick it up again and be the kind of player that we've seen over the last 18 months. I'm buying here. It's a no-brainer for me. Like, he's too good, and you're getting a great price right now.
Yeah. Okay,
all right.
So hit a couple FPO that I want to hit.
Go.
Silva.
I got to buy more Silva. I feel like this is just like straight buy all the way up.
Yeah. Like, you want to hold as much as you possibly can until she gets her first win.
I mean, it's just like a matter of time. I mean,
yes,
the quality continues to rise. Like she's just getting better all the time.
Right. And honestly, her stock is held down by these collapses.
Right.
And so it's perfect because she's continuing to level up and you're not seeing a corresponding rise in her stock. And that's I'm just going to keep buying Silva every iteration of this until she wins.
I'm going to just do a little quick math here.
Okay.
She has 3,000 plus event ratings in her career. They came in September 2024 at GMC, October 2024 at the Pro Tour Championship, and in April 2025 at Music City Open. Like, the best is happening now, and the wins haven't shown up yet, but they will.
Yep. That's exactly right.
You can't. I couldn't buy enough right now.
That's right. Yes, agreed.
How about Holland?
I'm actually buying more Holland too. I think it's a case of Gannon, like similar to Gannon, where she has been one of the best players, and I just like the wins haven't come this season. Not many, right? She could have had way more wins this season, honestly. Does she have 2 or 1?
She has 2.
She has 2.
She won
but
Austin and Kansas City.
Has 2, hasn't missed the top 5 yet.
Yeah. Her worst finish of the season was 5th Champions Cup.
Tell me she couldn't have 3, 4 more wins by the next time we're doing this update. She's playing, and especially because she gets some events away from Kristen now. I
will note, right, Holland played so bad to start Champions Cup. Mm-hmm. And she was, I think, 10 strokes back of the lead after round 1. And she fought her way, she was never going to win that tournament after that start. But she fought her way all the way back up to the top 5. And that is the sign of a great player.
Yep. Well, no wonder you're so high on Calvin, Charlie.
I knew it was coming.
Anyways, hey, guess what? DG Graphs, you mentioned, has FPO now. Holland's been the best player, true strokes gained, over the rest of the field by a mile. Bigger than Gannon over NPO has. Like,
fair, but per event, Kristen's still better.
Agreed. But Holland's about to get a bunch of events without Kristen there.
That's true.
And so I think that, she's gonna get a couple of wins in this next stretch, and her stock's just gonna rise as it does.
I think Holland's the problem for Holland right now is that she's going through a little bit on the circle one putting.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to come out on the other side of that. She's been really resilient and has found her way back with the putt in the past. And every player deals with it, right? Yep. There's going to be times when you just don't have it the same way you normally do on the green. That's what she's going through right now. It's a great buy low spot, frankly, coming off of her quote, let's put it in quotes, worst performance of the season, which is 5th place. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm buying.
And listen, I just think
there's a very good chance that Holland is the player of the year this year.
There is. Holland is the heir apparent to the Kristen reign, right?
That's right.
I think when Kristen is no longer Kristen, Holland will be there to take the crown, and I want as much stock as possible when that happens.
Here's one where we're completely separated, and that's Paul Macbeth. I'm buying on Paul. And maybe that sounds weird because, it's like he has been unusually good, it feels like, to start the season. But in fact, like, he's outplayed everybody but Gannon from a statistical standpoint.
Yep.
And that's despite having times where his putter is completely ice, and he's also been a little bit unlucky. I feel like this is a great spot to get some more Macbeth stock. Now, I wish I'd loaded up before the season, but I still feel like this is an opportunity to buy in before he starts getting some wins because I think they're coming.
I probably am not comfortable enough to take a bet with you on this one, but I am selling, and here's why. Gannon is the number one statistical player. He is number one in the Pro Tour standings. Paul is the second statistical best player. He is number 4 in the standings. And when I say Gannon's number 1 in the standings, he's number 1 by 100 points. He's 100 points ahead of Anthony Barella, who's in second place. That's how good Gannon is through and through throughout the season, with just 1 win. Paul's sitting at 4th, despite being the second statistical best. And I think that is telling the story that we have, the narrative that we've kind of seen from Paul, which is he's playing very well, but something is wrong with his mental game. And he's collapsing in the moments that he needs it the most. And I do not want my dollars invested in a player who's going to collapse under the spotlight. It puts caps on their stocks on terms of how much value I'm going to get from him. And right now, I just do not trust Paul if it comes down to a circle 2 putt to win a tournament.
I get it, but I'm going to bet on the greatest player of all time to figure it out and come out on the other side of that.
That's fair.
You're telling me that Macbeth is never going to be able to make a putt again in a clutch spot?
Listen,
Macbeth.
Charlie.
Putting is not something you lose as you age.
Well, that's not due to age, but the mental game is not there right now. And yes, is Macbeth going to have
reason to buy?
Is Macbeth going to have his 2019 Masters? Sure, probably, right? I don't know if it's a major. I don't know if it's just another tournament. Whatever it is, right? I wouldn't be shocked. But how long are you going to sit there and hold on to stock that is underperforming in its value compared to what you're paying for it until that moment comes? I just don't know if the payoff's worth it.
We will find out later this season. We will review and we will assess who won the trades. All right. Couple more. Owen Scoggins is an interesting one. What are you doing with Owen? Performance is down.
And the putter's down. Oh, gosh, I'm gonna kick myself so hard for doing this. I'm gonna sell some Owen stock. I don't want to fully Like, I'm not getting completely out, but Father Time is going to win eventually.
Eventually.
I don't know when that eventually is, but
maybe now.
It may be now. That's the problem with Own, is like the margins are razor thin. If Own loses 5% on her putt, done. She's never winning again. If Own loses 30 to 40 feet of distance, done. She doesn't have the distance to compete on tour. She has the bare minimum functional distance to compete on tour at this level, and has a putter that is fantastic that makes up for it. If you lose either of those things, even marginally, then that is going to do it. And I'm sorry, but that's going to come eventually. And so I am just going to slowly kind of sell off my own stock, because, if she got another win, I could see it happening. I'm glad I have a little bit left, but I want to keep getting out, as I think the overall and like the regular price is going to kind of trend downwards.
I can't buy because of what you just described, but I'm not ready to sell. I feel like there's a chance we're going to see the little resurgence. I mean, when you look at the stats, like last year to this year, the problem actually hasn't really been the putting. I mean, she's been a little bit worse in the putting green. The problem has been tee to green, where she's regressed pretty significantly.
She doesn't have the distance to do that.
Is it a distance story? Maybe. That feels like it should be the story, but I'm not sure that it is. I think it has more to do with like accuracy for her. I mean, sure, are there holes where she's not going to birdie and the longest score?
Yeah.
Of course there are. But she's able to make up for that with more technical skill on even medium long holes. Like she's not.
Yes.
She's the injury has been a little bit of an issue. That's why I'm holding, because I feel like I expect some positive regression from here rather than just like downward, because she's feeling better.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a tough call, because I do think that at some point you're just going to want to be just straight done. But let's keep in mind, it was a light field, but she did just win the Masters Cup.
Yes, she did. And that's why I'm not jumping out 100%. I'm selling 25% of my stock around.
Fair. All right. I think I want to leave it there.
Okay.
Super snapshot, not much analysis. Give me your thoughts on Evelina.
Sell.
Come on, man. I know better than to sell. I'm holding. I know better than to sell. Still tee to green, number one. Circle 2 putting's been fine.
Sell.
All it takes is for her to have a good weekend from C1, and then she's winning. Nicholas.
I'm going to hold.
I just love this guy's game. I'm buying.
I don't blame you.
Bad Champions Cup. Dip in the stock price. I think he's about to go to Europe and tear it up.
Charlie, one of these days we really need to put some numbers here, because as I look at our list, you sold on one person. Yeah. And held and bought on the rest.
I'm an optimist.
I wish I had the capital that you were working with. I'm a little more realist, that like I got to sell some stocks if I want to buy some other ones.
I should be forced to sell somebody.
You know what we should do next time? Here's how we modify this. For every player that you buy stock in, you have to sell in a different one.
Okay. It's like a fixed.
Yeah, it's a fixed. Yeah, we don't have to do numbers that way, but you have to sell on somebody in order to buy somebody else.
Fair enough.
Okay. All right.
Random piece of news that just popped up. Lowry Lettinen. Is this a rebuy? I don't know. Lowry Lettinen's back. He's making his season debut this weekend. And somebody posted in our Discord that he re-signed with Latitude because, wait. Now I'm remembering this. He dipped out, right? And he didn't have a contract, and he hasn't played in 2025 because he's been dealing with some mentality
mental,
stuff.
yeah.
But he's back, and he's on Team Latitude 64 again, and he's going to be playing in Vasa this weekend. And let's see what's he signed up for. Oh, he's all the way back. He's going to be at Konopiste Open next weekend. He'll be at Ale Open. He'll be at PCS. He'll be at Krokol. He's playing Europeans and Worlds. So Lowry's back.
Cool.
That's cool.
That's really cool. It's a great piece of news.
Quick break. When we come back, Cascade Challenge preview and picks. Stay with us. The Upshot is presented by Pound Disc Golf, makers of the best bags in the sport. Well, the custom Octos are starting to roll off the production line. Take a look at some of these valedictorians. Grape and Black, Octahall. How about this Dreamsicle colorway? I mean, that one's really nice, I like the orange. All Sage, including the zippers and just black zipper pulls. Really nice. I'd be afraid of losing that one in the woods. Got the Saffron and Marine valedictorian Rufus. And you can make the bag of your dreams over at pounddiscgolf.com with their custom bag creator. Go try it out. You can just go in there and play around and take a look at all of the available customization options. Maybe you'll just decide, you know what? I have to have it. I've built the bag of my dreams. I only have to buy this thing one time. Pound bags guaranteed for life. Go over to pounddiscgolf.com and try out the custom builder for yourself. Welcome back to The Upshot. The Cascade Challenge starts on Friday. That's tomorrow. And there will be live coverage, of course, on the Disc Golf Network. We had a match play championship rounds yesterday. And let's just quickly run down those results, Josh. Okay. We only had 4 groups go. So Joey Buckets and Isaac Robinson finish all square. Robinson wins the 18th with a birdie to get it all tied up and go to all square. So that's a nice moment for him after a slow start.
Classic Isaac. Wins a major, ties with Joey Bucket in match play. Come on.
By the way, that was a 45-footer, and he also made 3 other circle 2 putts down the stretch of that tournament in the back 9 to basically bring himself all the way back in and get it locked up with Buckets after a slow front.
Okay. All right. Well,
how about the Nicholas Ezra match? Amazing. You can watch this, by the way, on YouTube or check out the highlights. Nicholas goes 1 up. Ezra ties it up, and then he goes 2 up. Nicholas ties it up on the 10th. Then Ezra goes back 2 up on the 12th with back-to-back hole wins and birdies. And then Nicholas wins 2 holes in a row to get back to all square. Ezra goes 1 up on the 16th. And then Nicholas wins the next 2 holes to win the match. 1 up. Amazing. I think both guys are primed to have a really good weekend. They both played really well yesterday. Adam Hammis dominates James Proctor. I think he wins 4 and 3. And then in FPO, there was just 1 match. Missy Gannon beats Rebecca Cox 2 and 1.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So Cascade Challenge, this course is 1,000 feet longer than it was 2 years ago when it was a silver.
That's a lot of distance to add from one year to the next.
There is an 1,100 foot par 5 through the woods on this course.
Well, did they literally just like? So it used to go like hole 60. I don't know what hole number that is. Like hole 10 to hole 11. 12th. Okay, so they used to go like what's today's 11 to 13.
I have no idea how they.
I'm just making this up.
Yeah,
they literally just step off. They're like, just take a right turn and go throw through the woods for 1,000 feet. Hey, it's 1,000 feet longer.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays. I mean, I'm curious. It's certainly going to be a lot more difficult.
Yeah,
but there's clearly plenty of birdies out there, as we saw yesterday in match play. Not sure what to expect this weekend. A lot of the Europeans are not here. Nicholas is playing, so that's going to be, someone to keep an eye on. But most of the rest of the European field is back over in Europe this weekend. Gannon coming off the win at Masters Cup over Nicholas in a playoff. Josh, what do you make of this one coming up this weekend?
I mean, this is the amuse-bouche to the Northwestern Challenge, right?
That's right.
We're getting into the woods. You're gonna start seeing some of this kind of line shaping. It's players kind of, we're starting to see a little bit, what the field's gonna look like. You get a kind of test. It's very different feel from Champions Cup, given the fact that we have the Europeans who left. So this is your preview. If Formula One fans, like, this is the sprint before the actual race happens. And so it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to tell us a lot about people's game and how you should evaluate them relative to Northwestern. But there are going to be, some differences, given that I think, for example, that you have Glendoveer, that's a golf course and really does require real distance and that there's a big advantage in having that. So it's a nice teaser, nice thing to get us ready. I'm always happy that we're putting new courses on tour, and I think it's going to give us some good insight. I'm not going to put too much stock overall on, like, I won't lie to you and say this is one of the most important tournaments of the season, right? It is. A win would be nice here for any player. Obviously, it's a DGPT win. It's going to be important for DGPT points. But I'm looking at this as a preparation for Northwestern Challenge. What do we expect to see in 2 weeks at what is becoming one of my favorite events of the year?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this on Tuesday. This is a bridge tournament.
Yeah.
Right. This is getting us. I mean, technically, they have to drive north of Northwest Challenge and then come back south to the Oregon. Right. But this is getting us from one spot on the tour to the next, and that's fine. That's going to be how it goes. Most of the top Americans are here. Gannon, Ricky, Isaac, Paul, Kyle, Ezra, AB, Adam Hammis. A few people are taking this weekend off for various reasons. As mentioned, most of the Europeans. Anniken Sten is playing in FPO. I think she's the only notable European in the field. But Holland, Missy, Owen, Cat Merch, Ella, Paige. Actually, wait, I heard Paige scratched. She's still on the registration list, okay. But I heard she scratched in the Discord due to a shoulder injury. So just keep that in mind if you're making picks.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, Shelton Springs Disc Golf Course. The preview is up on Ulti World Disc Golf if you want to check that out. And another newcomer to the Elite Series. So nice to have something to shake things up a little bit.
Always.
This course was 8,200 feet for MPO in 2023. It's now 9,700 feet.
Yeah, 8,200 feet would not be long enough. So that's an important change.
It's just about 1,000 feet longer in FPO. So we'll see how the major winners do this weekend. Missy and Isaac coming off the wins. And Josh, it's time to make our picks.
All right. I'll start over in FPO. I've got Holland at the top of my picks. I think just lack of Kristen gives Holland a real good opportunity for the next couple of weeks. And Kristen does come back because of the U.S. Women's Championship, and so I want to take advantage of the fact that Holland gets a couple of events without Kristen, and so you're just expect to see Holland on my picks for the next couple of weeks for sure, without a doubt. Plus, like, hasn't missed top 5, so right, like auto pick right now. I've got Missy on my picks as well. It's hard to swallow because Missy at the 1X means that if she only gets 10th. 1 point, it feels like the upside is difficult, especially given that she's not much of a back-to-back kind of winner person. And so it feels a little bit hard, but it's, again, a little bit lighter field. And without the Europeans, it's very different in MPO versus FPO because, you've got Nicholas on the MPO. And so it's like, who are we missing? Right. Really? Who are we really missing that you want on your picks? I don't know if we've made a pick besides Nicholas of a European who is like on our at all. Right.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm just not like, it doesn't complicate things on the MPO side in terms of, or I guess it doesn't simplify things on the MPO side. FPO side, it sure does, right? Yeah, I'm going to put Holland, I'm going to put Missy in both my picks. My third pick, give me Rebecca Cox.
I love it.
I just want some upside here. I'm a little bit worried about Missy with the 1X. I think with the lighter field, especially Rebecca Cox getting a podium, that'd be a lot of big points, and I'm here for that.
I'm taking Holland and Missy. I mean, what more do you need to say? Like, I feel like Missy's back in form. She looked great in match play. Holland is auto pick, as you said. My third is Kat Merch, who's played really well here in the past and is actually, I was just looking at my fantasy team from our draft at the beginning of the season. Kat has been my most consistent FPO player. Like, she's scoring points every week. She's in the top 10 every time. I'm just checking her page right now. Like, has she even missed the top 10 yet this year? No, she has not. She has literally made the top 10 at every single tournament.
It's a good pick, then.
Easy pick for me right now.
Yeah, easy points.
Especially at the 1.5x. So in MPO, I'm kicking things off with Nicholas. He looked awesome in match play. This is the kind of course where he's going to play great. Overall, his level of play just looks so high this season. He looks super dialed.
Former winner here, right?
Yes, he has one here. So no problem right there. I'm also taking Andrew Marweed, who's a 2x points bonus guy, who is just playing at a much higher level than we have seen him playing at in years past.
Great point.
Just period. And now we're back in the woods. Mm-hmm. This is really where his game shines the most. I love his chances to top 10 here and maybe get me a podium. And then Anthony Barella, who like wouldn't in the past have been a pick on a course like this one, but he's played well here before. And I just think that his control over his discs is so much higher now. His ability to throw the Luna on these wooded holes where he's just trying to play for accuracy, it's unlocked his game.
That's fair. I am taking Gannon instead of Anthony Barella. So that'll be my kind of replacement there. I like the upside of both players. They're both scoring well this season for picks. But I think Gannon has a real opportunity to get a win here. I think he's looking good, and I don't know. I've just got this, like, it feels like Gannon's due for a couple. And maybe it's probably going to be at Northwestern, a 4-round event, which is where he thrives. But it feels like he's due, and so I want Gannon on my picks because I think he could be winning this weekend. I also have Nicholas, a lot of the same reasons. Interestingly, Charlie, I was just looking at our average points per player for the picks. You have a couple players like Sullivan Tipton and Ezra Aderhold actually are the two highest at 6 points, because they've had that 5 times multiplier means that a couple of good finishes really gives them a lot of points, but it's very much like up and down, right? Nicholas Ontil, though, is in the top 5. He's just behind Anthony Barella with 3.59 average points per tournament. So Nicholas has been an excellent pick to have for throughout the season. And I think it's a little bit more consistent than a guy like, for example, Sullivan Tipton. Third pick for me, Adam Hammes. Honestly, this
calling
is
to get back on the horse.
Yeah, it's just a pure economy decision. When I look at the 2Xs, like, I had Eagle at first because I'm like, oh, Eagle did okay at Champions Cup, and he almost got me points at Champions Cup. And I was thinking in my head, like, oh, Eagle's a 5Xer, 2Xer, right? So I look at these 2Xers and it's like, man, it's so hard. Andrew Marweed, I love that pick. But I was like, oh, maybe I want Eagle. Oh, well, he's 2X. Okay. And then I was like, you know who else would be a cool one? I really think has a good chance. I think Casey White could do really well. So I was like, oh, I'll take Casey White, with the 5X multiplier. No, wrong. 2X. And so it's hard because some of those guys don't have the big upside, but still feel like they're a little bit more of a risk. And to get you like significant points, Adam Hammes just feels like the safest of those 2X to give me that return. And so I'm taking Adam Hammes as my third.
I like it. I mean, he already bounced back, arguably top 5 to Champions Cup. So
exactly,
he's been super solid this season. I mean, I think this has been his most consistent performance on the Pro Tour ever. And he's got to win.
Yes.
So let's see if he can keep it going. All right, that's going to do it for the show this week. We'll be back with you Sunday night with a little rapid reacts following the Cascade Challenge. Little programming note, next week, just one show. We'll be back on Tuesday to recap Cascade and get you ready for the Northwest Disc Golf Championships. But with that starting on Thursday, And I'm going to be up in Washington, actually, for the College National Championships for Ultimate Frisbee. Just one show next week. And then back with you again the following Tuesday to break down Northwest Disc Golf Championship. So, Josh, have a great weekend.
You
Go
too.
Stars, go Knicks, and enjoy the disc golf this weekend, everybody.